the intersection of marketing and society. This year's recipient, Professor C.B. Bhattacharya from University of Pittsburgh, is the leading voice in corporate social responsibility and sustainability. Over more than 3 decades, his research has transformed how we think about the role of business in society. With over 53,000 citations and recognition as a highly cited researcher, his work has appeared in the field's top journals. And he has had a lasting influence on both academia and practice. Beyond their scholarship, he has also played a role in building institutions and advancing the conversation around sustainability and business globally. It is truly an honor for us to recognize his remarkable career and contributions. Please join me in congratulating Professor Bhattacharya, and now I invite him to share a few words.
Thank you to the Academy for this amazing accolade. Wait, that's my other speech. I'm sorry. A bit of a mix-up. Thank you to the AMA as well as the MASTIC for this award. Thank you to all the past winners of the award who voted for me. Thank you to my letter writer, who knows who he is but will remain anonymous. Thank you to my parents, particularly my dad, for kicking my butt and proclaiming right before I came to the US that nothing will become of me. That was considered good parenting back then. I imagine I'm at least 20 years ahead of my career. Most importantly, thank you to all of those who have read or at a minimum have cited my work. I received an email from Shashi Mata of the MASTIC on a Sunday afternoon informing me that I had received this award. So I excitedly ran to the only other person in the house, my wife, and I told her the news. She looked at me and said, "Congratulations, but you know what that means, right? You're getting old." That's what 30 years of marriage will do to you. But truly, she's probably more deserving of this award than I am, seeing as she has had to put up with me for so many years. More seriously though, I wanted to tell you a story about how I got here. I came to the United States in 1987, a long time ago, to do a PhD, not because I wanted to do a PhD, but because I wanted to come to the US, and the PhD was one of the few ways to get here at that point in time, legitimately and with some funding as well, to eke out a living. This is a story not too many people know, but today's the time to tell you. So my real interest in coming to America was all the things that we had seen from afar growing up in India, and of paramount importance to me at that point in time was rock and roll and all the affiliative things that go with it, and that I wanted to experience and sample. And my goal was very simple. It was to jump ship at the soonest opportunity I got and get a corporate job. See, I was a brand manager back in India. I used to work for a company called Reckitt Benckiser. And some of you who are from India might know the brand called Harpic. I launched this brand of toilet cleaner as a brand manager. And I think that was my first contribution both to marketing and to society. After all, a clean toilet is a thing of joy. So I wrote to these people saying, I'm in this country doing a PhD at Wharton, but can I please come and work there for the summer? And long story short, it did work out. And at the same time, when I went for this internship, I got a letter from Wharton, which was not that nice. It was encouraging me to leave the program, not because I didn't have the grades, which were miraculously fine, but somehow, apparently, I was not cut out to do a PhD. You know, it was my attitude, chalk it up to my long hair, my tie-dyes. I was smoking back in the day, so no, you're not Wharton material. And they said something that was incredibly, exciting. They said I could do one more semester and, get a master's on the way out. And I was not alone to get the letter. There were 5 of us that year, 3 of us got the letter, whatever. So I filed this letter in the back burner and went for my internship. Now my internship turned out to be really interesting and I did a great job. Final presentation went well and I went home to India after 1 year of being in the United States. One day when I'm sitting with my parents having lunch, the doorbell rings and it's the FedEx guy with an envelope. And it was for me. So I opened the envelope. It says it was from the company, Reckitt. And it says that they were very impressed with what I had done as part of my internship, and if I were so inclined to work in the corporate world, I should get in touch with them. I excitedly showed my parents that letter, but didn't tell them about the letter I had received from Wharton, because they wouldn't be able to take it. But personally, I was busting. I mean, it's like the perfect situation, right? I'm getting a master's, I'm getting a corporate job, dream come true. But then I asked myself, should I just hang around a little more, just to spite them maybe? Maybe just to mess with their minds, and see if I can get a liking for this kind of education. I hated it, I didn't like it one bit. But then I got in touch, somehow came into contact with my advisor, Len Lodish, to whom I owe a debt of gratitude, because he taught me that it can be academia can be fun, and we ended up doing a dissertation on the statistical modeling of scanner data, which actually was big data at the time. On graduation, I went to Emory University. That was my first job. And I was given the task of teaching marketing research to both undergrads and MBAs. The one thing I had learned from my brand management days is that you cannot learn marketing research sitting behind a desk. At least that was the reality back then. I mean, today, I don't know, in the age of AI, everything is possible, I guess. But back in the day, okay, you had to go out, talk to people, collect data, analyze it, all of that. So I said, what's the point of doing fictitious projects for all these career services, this, that, whatever, alumni office? Why don't we do real projects for nonprofits and social cause organizations who do not have the funds to pay consultants? And so I launched this program where student groups of 5 would be assigned to an organization, so Cancer Society, the Red Cross, the local art museum, the local zoo, you name it. We did about 30 projects in a period of 3 years. As I was kind of into that program, one evening, after a full day of teaching, I'm extremely tired, we had a leadership conference going on campus, and I was expected to attend that, and so, I somehow dragged myself there. And there, at that conference, I met Mr. Ben Cohen, who's the CEO of Ben & Jerry's at the time. Ben & Jerry's, the ice cream company, very socially responsible, even though, I don't know whether selling ice cream is a good thing to begin with, but still, everything in moderation, I guess. But they were doing good things for the environment, good things for society. So I told Mr. Cohen, I said, I'm running this program, would love to do something for you. Do you have a project in mind? So he says, there's something that intrigues me. He says, we do all of these things for the environment, we do all of these things for society. Can you help me understand if these activities, these social and environmental activities, does it encourage people to buy Ben & Jerry's ice cream, all else equal? So in other words, does our CSR move the purchase needle or not? I said, well, that's a great question. I have absolutely no clue as to where that answer might lie, but there was one thing I recognized was that I found that question to be fascinating. Why? Because he was talking about sales, and in the marketers, back in the day, they were all trying to increase sales. But no one was thinking of environmental attributes and social attributes as drivers of sales. And so it was a blank slate. And I said, okay, this is something that sounds more interesting than scanner data to me, and I got into that. I got into that research project. And that was the pivot of my life, given that there was so much to do in that arena of CSR and then subsequently, sustainability. Like Shelley said, I do enjoy the academic practitioner interface. Always enjoyed it, coming from brand management. And I built centers, in many institutions that I have worked over the years to kind of try and embed sustainability into corporate DNA. That has been my kind of shtick now over the past several years. So all this to say is that if you try something unconventional, if you create good trouble, all of those things are okay. We don't have to follow a particular path, a regimented path of reading the future research directions at the end of a journal article to figure out what I should work on next. No, it's okay. Go out into the real world, talk to people, figure stuff out, do what excites you, right? I mean, ultimately, at the end of the day, that's what it is. So, what a long, strange trip it's been. You can say that. Somebody got that reference. Tune, yeah, of course. And it's been truly been enjoyable. I hope that all your presentations and other activities at the conference goes well. And I'm truly happy to receive this award from you. Thank you so much.